Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Greetings from Geneva. It's noon here, but good afternoon to you. 3:30 at your place, I know.
Yeah, you are very much aware about the time slot. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we can start.
Sir, good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon to everyone in Gujarat. Such a pleasure to see all of you, and it's wonderful to be doing this with Gujarat University. I see everyone is there. And Julian, I suppose we are ready to start as soon as you say so.
From our side, we are ready. Absolutely.
So, Mahima, yes, please.
Yes. Good afternoon to each and everyone present over here. On behalf of the Gujarat University and the Indian Institute of Sustainability, I welcome you all today for the launch of the IAS web portal and for the webinar on sustainability. So without further ado, I would like to call upon Mr. Sudhanshu Jangir, Director of Indian Institute of Sustainability, for his introductory remark. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mahima. So good afternoon, bonjour, buenos dias, namaste from India, namaste from Gujarat University. If India is the youngest country and the largest democracy, then United Nations is the temple of democracy. It is my honor to introduce Mr. Nikhil Seth, Honorable Assistant Secretary General of United Nations, chief guest of the event today, who is known globally for turning good intentions to concrete actions and who proudly calls himself as a gender champion. During his career with United Nations since 1993, he has worked in United Nations in multiple roles, such as Director of DESA Office. Before joining to United Nations Secretariat, Sir was delegate to United Nations in the permanent mission of India to the United Nations. He joined the Indian Diplomatic Services in 1980, and his diplomatic assignments include Geneva and African countries. Sir, we welcome you at the platform of Gujarat University, which was conceived by Mahatma Gandhi and established by Iron Man of India, Mr. Sardar Patel. GU has been the playfield of visionary leaders such as Dr. Vikram Sarabhai and Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Bhai Modi. So welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Jalam evam Jivanam. These are the three phrases from our Vedas, which means water is life. Who can understand better than me, who is born in middle of Thar desert? And the place Churu is known for the highest temperature and water scarcity. At my place, we clean the roof before the rain and store rainwater for drinking all along the year. We had drought from year 1998 to 2003. Millions of the people just migrated just due to lack of drinking water. Therefore, 2004 was a special year for the Western India, which brought good monsoon. And the same year, India witnessed the first woman from Odisha to top IAS examination, who consider farmers, soldiers, every man and woman around us as a role model and believes in leading by example. It is my honor to introduce guest of honor, Mrs. Rupa Misra, IAS, who is Director of National Jal Jeevan Mission and Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation. Madam is from Odisha cadre, is known for her people-centric and down-to-earth approach. In her career with Odisha government, she had multiple roles such as Collector of Kalahandi, Mission Director, National Health Mission. Ma'am, we welcome you at the platform of Gujarat University, which has been also playground for our proud alumni, Mrs. Ilaben Bhatt, founder of most successful women cooperative movement, Seva. Welcome you, ma'am. Gujarat University have a legacy of 7 decades in various fields and domain of leadership. But in last 4 years, Gujarat University has created multiple sustainable footprints. Either it is establishment of unique research park, or India's #1 incubator, or establishment of Sports City, or Institute of Defense Studies and Research, or recent establishment of Indian Institute of Sustainability under the current leadership. It is pleasure to introduce Professor Himanshu Pandya, the Honorable Vice Chancellor and the Chairperson of Indian Institute of Sustainability. He is a firm believer of Parikar Satya Sev Bahulikaranam, which are the 2 words from our Vedas, which says the legacy lies in multiplication. He is a firm believer of this, who is known for his converting his vision into mission and mission into action plan. I welcome you, sir, and thank you for your support and motivation, sir. I also welcome Mr. Julian Kelletti, United Nations Institute of Training and Research, whose support has converted the discussion into reality of today. Thank you, Julian. Merci beaucoup. I also welcome our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, sir. Under his leadership, Gujarat University is touching the heights, either it is ranking or the only institution of the only 5-star institution of Gujarat University. Thank you, sir. I also welcome Dr. N.R. Modi, Associate Professor, Department of Botany and Climate Change, for his consistent support and motivation sparked a light in me to move forward no matter what the conditions are. Thank you and welcome you, sir. I also welcome Sri Rahul Bagchandani and Sri Dheeraj Bhojwani, whose regular guidance gives me the path of continuous improvement and work selflessly towards our goal. Thank you, Rahulji, and welcome you, sir. I also welcome Team GUSEC and Team AIC GUSEC. I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Next, I would like to call upon Honorable Vice of Gujarat, Chairperson of Indian Institute of Sustainability, Professor Himanshu Pandya, sir. Please, sir.
For me to be with all you people, those who have worked extensively in the areas of coordination and cooperation with the highest priority of nature in mind. Honorable Mr. Nikhil Sheth, respected Madam Rupa Mishra, and my dear Julian, Gujarat University is a land of Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Patel, as Sudhanshu just mentioned. We have a lot of responsibility with these names. It's not only the alumnus of this university which are working day and night to have a sustainable goals desired by United Nations, but it is our collective responsibility, being an academic institution and being the highest ranked university in the state of Gujarat, that let's have some practices where we can teach the world, where we can have at least a model to present before the world. Sustainability is a much spoken word. People always mention in their lectures and in their research proposals whenever they undertake some investigations. In our ancient scripts, people say that sustainability means it's akshunda. Akshunda means there is no loss, any sort of loss. That is akshunda. Can we develop something like this across the globe? Can we have some model where we absolutely feel that there is no loss of any sort of resources or any sort of understanding? I think it is very difficult to define sustainability as per the requirement of various countries' growth and developmental progresses. What I understand with the sustainability is if we can create less loss of resources, then and then we can define the sustainability one or the other way. Being a researcher in the biological field, when we come across some papers, people produce certain models, a model for xerophytic ecosystem, a model for wetland ecosystem, a model for social growth, and a model for industry 5.0, how we can reach these targets with sustainable understanding in our minds. So it's very difficult to define sustainability in one word. So if you really want to do something substantial in the field of sustainability, we need to have overall coordination and collaboration with all these agencies, those who are dealing with industry, then social innovations, and on healthcare and agriculture and whatnot. So we at Gujarat University, we thought of an institution which is Indian Institute of Sustainability. There will be having different models with us for all these sections of the workings and functionings. there was a big idea in our mind that can we have something like, for agriculture, there is a distinct model. For healthcare, there is a distinct model. For economics, there is a distinct model. How to empower the livelihood in the region, and how to go ahead with the research which can be helpful in future developmental processes. I know it's very difficult to coordinate with all these various disciplines at one particular juncture. But, sir, we are in a process to develop a model for three sections right now. One is our Kutch, which is drought-prone zone, where we can have something uh, like a region-specific model, what we can introduce to the rest of the country, how to conserve the water, how to overcome the pesticide and fertilizer using or usage issues, or how we can empower the local farmer with the technology which can be make them available with the less resources. If we can develop one particular model, I think within a 2 year or 3 year span, the same model can be replicated to a region which is similar to the Kutch. Kutch is a province of Gujarat, which is again a desert ecology system, a sustainable system, and where we are going to work extensively on the Kutch region. Simultaneously, we have the terrains part with us in Gujarat. Luckily, the forest is also there in Gujarat. So, different models we are thinking in our mind based on the water requirement and the irrigation part and the healthcare and the agricultural practices. All these things together, if we can develop one model which can be again, utilized for the further implementation. So I wish all the good luck and all the very best to this Indian Institute of Sustainability. And I thank you very much, Mr. Nikhil Shade, for your gracious presence here. With your presence, our institution is highly motivated, and we'll be definitely working on the requirements of the United Nations. I would request Mr. Sheth to open a center here somewhere in our campus. We are a university which is having the research park in our campus. Simultaneously, we have 4 incubators. They all are centrally funded. More than 250 startups are working for their different targets and objectives with us. We are a 0 day, 0 cost incubator where we do not charge anything to the students, and we are the nodal agency for student startup and innovation policy in the state of Gujarat, where right from the schooling, we are encouraging our students to undertake the projects for development of some prototype and ultimately the product. We are helping them for their IPR, we are helping them for company establishment and everything. And it's not chargeable, let me tell you. It's all free to encourage the students and their innovation in their minds. Simultaneously, I would like to request to have a center of UNITAR in our campus, and let's have something collaborative research sort of a proposal where we can benefit the society at large. So thank you very much for calling me here and allowing me to share my ideas and views with you. We have to listen a lot of guidance from Mr. Nikhil Sheth and Mr. Julian and Madam Rupa. So I welcome you on this digital platform to Gujarat University campus, and thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Pandya. Now, I would like to call upon Honorable Assistant Secretary General, Mr. Nikhil Seth, and all the other guests to join us for the launch of our web portal of Indian Institute of Sustainability. Thank you so much. Now, I would
Congratulations,
like to
and yeah, congratulations to Rahul and to Sudhanshu both.
thank you, sir. Now, I would like to call upon Honorable Assistant Secretary General, Secretary General, Mr. Nikhil Seth, for his kind address. Please, sir.
Thank you so much, Mahima, and thank you to Professor Himanshu Pandya for his opening comments and for the presence of the Director of the Jal Jeevan Mission, Mr. Mishra. And I'm so happy to be here with all of you on this very special day because everything we do is geared towards helping in understanding what Agenda 2030 is and promoting sustainability all over the world. And of course, being an Indian, it gives me special pleasure to be doing this with all of you in such a esteemed university with such distinguished alumni. You have very high standards to live up to, and I'm sure that what you'll be doing in the area of sustainability will live up to those very high standards. I especially like to thank Julian from UNITAR and Sudhanshu for all the work they've done to make this happen. And I welcome the web portal launch, which we have just witnessed. And, I've been in the United Nations now for almost 3 decades, and most of my work in the United Nations has been in and around the concept of sustainability. This included the climate change process in the early 90s, the Rio Conference on Environment and Development also in 1992, the Biodiversity Convention, and everything leading up to the last set of things I did while I was in New York, which was the establishment of the Sustainable Development Goals. Yes, as you mentioned, Professor Pandya, the concept of sustainability is difficult to put in a nutshell, but everyone knows what it means. And I would like to quote the definition which came out of the Brundtland Commission, which focuses on meeting the needs of present generation without compromising the needs of future generations. And given that definition, sustainable development has an economic component. Of course, you have to look at development, growth, income, employment, but it also has a very strong social dimension, where you have to look at issues like social inclusion, benefiting society. There is an environmental dimension, which we all understand much better. I noticed that you're focused a lot on agriculture and water. These are the very, very important needs, especially of a country like ours, living in a world which will be increasingly water scarce in the years ahead. And your focus on agriculture and sustainability is extremely important. But apart from climate change and other environmental issues, including sustainable energy, sustainable biodiversity, we have also to look at working with communities to make this happen. The lessons of the great Mahatma Gandhi was that communities are where the solutions are, and our ability to work with communities and bring these messages of sustainability and work with them to make India sustainable is really going to be the challenge for institutes like the one you are establishing. So I'm very happy that we are in the process of focusing on the SDGs. Uh, SDGs are a dream. They are a vision of a world without hunger, a world without poverty, a world with sustainable agriculture, a world where everybody enjoys health and education, which promotes gender equality, which protects our uh, terrestrial ecosystems, which protects our climate system, which promotes sustainable infrastructure. These are big things. But in addition to all these things, the Sustainable Development Goals also has a goal which focuses on peaceful and just societies, which is a very important leg on which sustainability has to be built. So as we progress towards reaching the goals and targets of the Sustainable Development Goals, there are 17 goals and 169 targets. We must remember that all these goals and targets are not discrete goals and targets, but they are an interrelated matrix of issues which we must promote together. You can't have eradication of poverty or promotion of health without promoting gender equality, for example. And you cannot have sustainable infrastructure without promoting sustainable energy for all modern forms of energy for the most remote and distant people, no matter where they are. So the challenges are great. The dream and vision of the Sustainable Development Goals have been seriously hit by the COVID pandemic, which has gripped the world. It has set us back several decades, but I know with determination, with the promise of leaving no one behind, we'll be able to get to all these goals and targets. So this is what I wanted to communicate. The distinguished Honorable Vice Chancellor talked about a center. Of course, it will be a great pleasure for me to be involved in the opening of a center where we can promote some of the work that we do on sustainable development goals through the startups and the innovators who are brought together through that center in the Gujarat University. And we will work together to make that dream a reality. But I hope that we can send these messages to the thousands and thousands and thousands of people, whether they are farmers or farm systems or communities or medical workers or practitioners or policy people from the policy fraternity in India. It is a complex policy fraternity, but we need to involve universities, academia, we need to involve municipalities, we need to involve villages and rural communities if we want to make this dream of a world without poverty and hunger, and where we protect the needs of future generations without compromising their needs by living and behaving as if we are living in a world with finite resources. And that is my thought, which I want to leave all of you, that yes, we will work together. We will make the Sustainable Development Goals not only a responsibility of some distant policymaker, but also help in internalizing it for each one of us, for the students, for the people who get involved in making the Sustainable Development Goals a reality. Each one of us, by the decisions we make, whether it's in the way we treat other people in society, whether it's the education pursuits that we have, whether it's the cars we buy, the energies we use, we can make a difference in getting to the Sustainable Development Goals. So remember, the Sustainable Development Goals are not a reality for others, it is a reality for us. And we must try and personalize them and make them a reality for each and every one of us. So I look forward to the rest of the ceremony. I'm so happy to be signing this Memorandum of Understanding with Professor Himanshu Pandya. This memorandums of understanding are statements of intent. And of course, we know that intentions have to be good, but the crunch is always in making these memorandums of understanding or our good intentions in a reality. But I can see from all the enthusiastic faces on the screen that we will be working together to make this a reality. So here I am, ready now to sign the Memorandum of Understanding. And as proof, I will put up my signature on this piece of paper in this virtual world that we live in. So thank you very much, and back to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time and for your words. It has been rightly said by you that there are setbacks and we can overcome if we work together and we can achieve our sustainability goals. Now, moving forward, I would like to call you all for the declaration of the MoU and for the virtual signing of the MoU between the Gujarat University and the Indian Institute of Sustainability and UNITAR.
can we start signing the document?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
Here you are. Proof, Julian, that I have signed it.
Many congratulations.
Congratulations to everybody. Now, moving forward, I would like to call upon Mrs. Rupa Mishra, IAS, Director of Jal Jeevan Mission and from the Department of Drinking Water and Sanitization for her address. Please, ma'am, you may proceed.
Thank you very much, Mahima. Good afternoon and namaskar to all of you. My greetings from the National Jal Jeevan Mission, Ministry of Jal Shakti, to the Honorable Chief Guest of today's occasion, the UN Assistant Secretary General, Mr. Seth, the Vice Chancellor of Gujarat University, Professor Pandya, the Director, Indian Institute of Sustainability, Mr. Jangir, Mr. Julian from the UNITAR, esteemed colleagues present here, stakeholders, participants. COVID-19 pandemic has brought us to times that we would have never thought of. And this is possibly the best time where we need to think of the future, think of the present. And this particular topic couldn't have been more relevant, couldn't have been more timely. As we speak here today and representing the Jal Jeevan Mission, I would just like to highlight a couple of points which are very relevant to all of us. All of us are living in times where we are aware of the water crisis, of the challenges that we have in the drinking water sector, of the erratic rainfall, the climate change challenges, the rising pollution in rivers and water bodies, the competing demands of agriculture, industry, infrastructure, etc. And seeing the very necessity for holistic water management, in 2019, the Government of India created a unified Ministry of Jal Shakti, unifying the efforts under water resources, river development, and Ganga rejuvenation, along with the efforts of Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, bringing them together under one umbrella. Because this is the time for addressing the issues of water sector in a very holistic manner. And a very aspirational program has been launched. We have all been part of another very aspirational program, which was the Swachh Bharat mission. As friends, all of you would be aware that was possibly the largest behavioral change program that the world saw in the sanitation sector. And now India is poised for Swachh Bharat Phase 2, which is moving beyond the ODF, which is ODF plus. And taking forward this journey of reaching out to one and all, on 15th of August 2019, the Honorable Prime Minister launched Jal Jeevan Mission of providing the service of water in an assured manner on a long-term basis of a particular quantity and quality. Now the challenge is, earlier we used to look at provisioning of water sector as possibly a provision. Today we are looking at service, and the moment we say service, it is a 360-degree dimension. There would be issues of functionality, of quality, of source sustainability, of grey water management, of reaching out to various geographical terrains, etc. And as we speak, when we started the journey, we had an access of just about 7% of the Indian population of, let's say, over 19 crore households having access to household water supply inside homes. And the chief guest was mentioning of the SDGs and the aspirations linked to it. We are actually thinking and looking at a step more. We are looking at ease of living. We are looking at reducing the drudgery of women. We are looking at making the lives of children better by providing water in schools, Anganwadi centers, tribal hostels, etc. And today, in 22 months, in spite and despite of COVID-19 pandemic, we are a little beyond 41% of providing household tap water connections. And this is work in progress. This is a journey which is gigantic to reach over 600,000 villages in India with door-to-door quality assured pipe water supply calls for a lot more. And this is where we need collaboration and partnership. And we have our aspirations very clear. The chief guest was just mentioning, how do we bring in sustainability as a whole, as a concept together, and not just one program in isolation. So here, as we are speaking, I'm happy to share with you, Jal Jeevan Mission has prioritized the difficult areas first so that no one is left behind. As we speak, more than 1 crore families in heavily affected Japanese encephalitis area today have access to safe drinking water inside homes. The access in difficult tribal areas, the pace of work there today is much more as compared to other parts of the country. You would be very happy to know that we are trying our level best to provide pipe water supply in every school, in every Anganwadi center. And we are beyond 60%, 65% coverage already. So on one hand, earlier we used to say that we are going to provide good water. Today we are saying it is not about just access, but we are going to provide safe, portable, piped water connection to every household, to every institution. And in this massive journey in India that all of us are together, certainly we need collaboration. And in fact, the tagline of Jal Jeevan Mission is building partnerships, changing lives. And the role of academic institutions, research organizations, SHGs, local groups is phenomenal. And I take the liberty of seeking the partnership from everybody present here in this important webinar to collaborate with Jal Jeevan Mission in taking forward this journey. It could be specially curated course to take forward knowledge management. It could be social action research. It could be innovative technology. It could be assessments. It could be inputs to policy. One and all are welcome to partner and participate with us. So with this, I congratulate all of you on this wonderful day for opening up your portal, the signing of this important MoU. Wish you all the best for all your endeavors. And we look forward to working with all of you. And we welcome all of you to partner with us in this vision mission of Har Ghar Jal by 2024. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, madam. We will assure you to have a key resource partner as a university and academia. We have a large pool of researchers, those who are working in the same area what you have mentioned just now, and we'll be more than happy to be a key resource partner with your ministry. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable time and for your presence today. Now, I shall call upon Mr. Julian Kelletti, United National Institute of Training and Research, for his live address from Palace of Nations and for the virtual tour of United Nations Palace of Nations, Geneva. Please, sir, you may proceed.
Thank you so much, everybody present on this very special day. Especially thank you to Sudhanshu, my counterpart, with whom, I have worked hard already in the beginning to make this happen. And it was actually thanks to the initiative of Sudhanshu to reach out to us and to have the first meetings together that this today could be possible. Thank you so much for this. Thank you to everybody else present, also for your really interesting insights and just to show the potential of our cooperation and everything that we could do together to do good in this world, to make the dream that our Assistant Secretary General, Mr. Nikhil Seth, spoke about, to make it a reality. I'm also extremely delighted to have Mahatma Gandhi present even in this webinar, be it on the wall, for example, of our colleague who just spoke, or also in the references in the PowerPoint slides. Mahatma Gandhi was an inspiration to myself when I was younger, and Mahatma Gandhi is also in a statue right here in front of the Palace of Nations. I'm not outside, so I'm not able to tell you or to show to you directly, but Mahatma Gandhi is also very present here in Geneva, and there are many go and visit his statue here in front of the palace. Now, as already discussed, here I greet you from the heart of International Geneva. This is the Palace of Nations, the headquarters or the European headquarters of the United Nations and the main facility where diplomats and other actors from all over the world come together and try to solve the world's problems in a spirit of mutual respect and dialogue. So I want to share with you on this special day a little bit of this Palace of Nations. As you can see already, I'm sitting in a special room. This room is actually not from the United Nations historically. It is the main room of the League of Nations, the United Nations predecessor. And that League of Nations was founded in 1919. So we recently had our 100 years anniversary of that idea of multilateralism that took root here in Geneva with this building. And I could show you a little bit around more for you to get an idea of how that all looks like. For this, I also have my mobile phone here to which I'm connected. I would have to briefly switch to that, or I would ask the moderator to switch to that mobile phone, and then I'm actually mobile. And I can actually then show you a little bit more in detail how this room looks like. So I will mute myself here, stop my camera, and switch over to my mobile phone, which I carry here with me. Hello and welcome again. Do you hear and see me well? I hope so. So here we are then. Can you hear and see me well? Excellent. Here we are then, and now I'm a bit more mobile. I can show you this conference room, and I will switch my what is called the council chamber. I show you like this. Get you an impression of this historic conference room. And if these walls could talk, you know, they would tell a lot of stories, because there are a lot of historic meetings that have happened here. Already in the League of Nations times, Mahatma Gandhi was here in the Palais des Nations and talked to the world powers at the time, and famously sat on a table here in the Palais des Nations. This is why also the statue outside of the room displays him like this. You see that usually 700 people fit into this room here. It's all very old, and the carpet and the smell here, you would really notice that this is an historic conference room. And historically, after the League of Nations, it is mostly used for peace negotiations. So there's a whole list of peace negotiations that have taken place here. For example, 1988, the war to end, the conference to end the Iran and the Iraq war. 1954, the Indochina War, for example, was brought to an end here. And also most recently, we have peace negotiations on Syria, on Libya, and other conflict zones in the world that the United Nations tries to solve or to mediate. I want to share with you also a little bit how that looks like here. If you are a diplomat, you would be sitting here, and you would be wearing this earphone over your ear, because there's simultaneous translation. Everything here happens in the 6 UN languages: English, Spanish, French, Russian, Chinese, and Arabic. And interpreters are actually sitting here in those booths behind me, and will translate everything automatically then into these 6 languages. And this is how nations of the world can come together and communicate with each other in the first place. Coming together under one roof, and as I said, trying to solve the problems that are there in a peaceful way. And what more is important for you to tell here, or to learn about this room? Of course, it's the paintings. So paintings, they tell a story. They tell the history of mankind. And have a look at this painting here. All paintings are painted by José María Sert, an artist from Spain. But this painting here is the beginning. It's the technological progress. So you see actually the workers here, how they are exercising, their power, where then there's the wheel, the most important invention. And then on top of that, the locomotive, the steam machine. So mankind made steps forward here in the technological sense, but it continues here with the social progress. You might see here, slaves are still up in chains, and down here they managed to free themselves and push open the gates towards their freedom. That was the social advancement that was present in our history. Now let me move to the other side. And we show actually here the scientific progress. This is very timely with the doctors that are curing the ill. It couldn't be more timely, in fact, as right now also the world is waiting for the COVID-19 vaccine to be more fairly and more equally distributed, right? But we have made a lot of progress in our history, and that is why that painting here in the corner is called Hope, that mankind will keep on progressing and once arrive at a truly peaceful world. And this child of hope here, I can recognize myself in it, and I assume you, if you also have never experienced a war firsthand, you would be also able to tell yourself, you are actually such a child of hope as well. And what a privilege and what a great luck this actually is. Right here is then war that has been painted, and there the conquerors marching and celebrating. They won the war, if you can win a war at all, or if they're only losers of war. When in any ways, this is the conquerors, the dead bodies here. And then it's important that the other victims, they put their fists into the sky and scream. And they want to have their revenge and most likely will attack the conquerors again, which leads to the new war, and it's a vicious circle. And here Mahatma Gandhi said, an eye for an eye, and the world will be blind. So his message, and the message of the entire United Nations, is really one of how to get out of this vicious circle and how to foster international cooperation. This is the answer to a more peaceful world. And the artist painted it on the ceiling, on the most important painting, where 5 giants, the 5 continents of the world, put their hands together as a sign of solidarity. So this is the spirit of the United Nations. This is the spirit of multilateralism, international cooperation, bringing different partners or different actors in the world together, let them talk to each other and try to solve the problems and the challenges that exist between them peacefully and in the spirit of cooperation, compromise, and just multilateralism. So that is what the United Nations is all about. And this is the spirit that I wanted to bring across you here in this special ceremony. This is also the spirit that we in our trainings at UNITAR pay a lot of attention to bringing across. If you leave our trainings thinking that, you're better on your own and you might, use your elbows, to get you even at the expense of others, then we have done something wrong in our training. UNITAR's training is really all about fostering that spirit of international cooperation. And then, of course, also fostering the spirit of environmental and sustainability awareness. And that is really where the cooperation with Gujarat University is so promising. And again, I'm extremely glad to have this event today with you. Let it be only the beginning, the first milestone in a row, many milestones that our 2 institutions have together. We, from our side, we are fully motivated to implement training programs on the different areas that have been mentioned before, to sit together and to discuss what could be done in order to benefit the rural communities, for example, that you've been speaking about before, but also, of course, the students and even staff members, and do projects and programs together in order to achieve this dream that our executive director has been talking about earlier, the Sustainable Development Goals by the end of 2030. So on our side, we're extremely excited, we're extremely honored to have this going on today and that the MoU is signed. Let's keep on working together to make this dream a reality and to let projects and programs follow to the benefit of all. Thank you very much, everybody, and back to you, to Gujarat University.
Thank you very much, Julian. It's been a pleasure to see all these lovely pictures behind you and the way you have narrated. It seems that you have digested each and every event which is there, which is really, and I can see the pleasure of narrating all these things on your face. So it shows your involvement in the process, and which really helps a lot and inspires youngsters to go for their jobs and their responsibilities. Thank you very much, and I assure you, being a head of the university, that we will definitely work on the multilateralism and the international cooperation what you have just proposed, and we will be more than happy to work on the sustainability goals what you have proposed. Yeah, we have to work beyond the capacities and beyond the definitions, and that's how we can, help the society to grow in a better way. Thank you very much for your all support and guidance. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you so much, Mr. Kaleti, for this beautiful virtual guide and for your insights. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. N.R. Modi, Associate Professor from the Department of Botany and Climate Change, for his concluding remarks. Please, sir, you may proceed.
Thank you, Maima. It is great honor for me to be here with you on this occasion of the signing of this memorandum of understanding between the Indian Institute of Sustainability, Gujarat University, and United Nations Institute of Training and Research. Gujarat University has enjoyed a long-standing friendship with many renowned institutes of the country as well as world. For the last several years, many programs of cooperation have been established in field of research and training by individual institutions on both the sides. I think this MoU commits us to work together more closely towards our common goal, the pursuit of the internationalization of research and training. At this moment, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone whose dedication and efforts have contributed to the finalization of this MoU. I would like to thank Honorable United Nations Assistant Secretary General Mr. Nikhil Sheth sir, respected Mrs. Rupa Mishra, IAS, Director of National Jal Jeevan Mission and Department of Drinking Water and Sanitization, respected Mr. Julian Kaleti, United Nations Institute of Training and Research, Geneva, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Gujarat University, Professor Himanshu Pandya, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of Gujarat University, Dr. Jagdish Bhavsar, Mr. Rahul Bagchandani, CEO of GUSEC, Mr. Sudhanshu Jangir, Director of Indian Institute of Sustainability. Their insights and goodwill have made the signing of this MoU a reality. In closing, I would like to say that I am confident that through our efforts and commitment, we will be able to achieve more and to be able to continue to develop even stronger relationships. I, on behalf of Gujarat University and Indian Institute of Sustainability, extend a very hearty thank to all for sparing your time and valuable opinions today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everybody. I would like to thank each and everyone for your time today and for coming together for this remarkable day. And I congratulate Sudhanshu sir and everybody for this step that we have taken towards sustainability. And I hope that together we can achieve this and make it a reality. Thank you so much, everybody.